Thank you very much. Please, let's take our seats. Good morning, everybody. Hamjambo. It's cold, right? Distinguished leaders, innovators, ladies and gentlemen, the future will not belong merely to those who master today's technologies. It will belong to those who imagine, invent, and build the technologies that the world has not yet conceived, but which will one day redefine economies, transform societies, and shape the future of humanity. Today, technologies powering the world include artificial intelligence, robotics, quantum computing, biotechnology, advanced semiconductor physics, autonomous systems, space physics, and the next generation communications. Tomorrow, however, the technologies that will shape our lives may be those who we cannot yet even name. That is why talent development is no longer simply an education agenda. It is a national competitive agenda. Nations that cultivate innovators rather than mere consumers of technology will be the nations that will lead the 21st century. I am therefore delighted to welcome all of you to State House this morning, and especially to celebrate a remarkable group of young Kenyans and their lecturers whose achievements have brought great honor to our republic. The 2026 Global Huawei ICT competition is the largest ICT skill competition in the world. It attracts more than 220,000 participants from over 2,000 institutions in more than 100 countries. Only 177 teams from 49 countries qualified for the global finals held in Shenzhen, China. I am immensely proud that all 3 Kenyan university teams returned home with global honors. The highest distinction came through our cloud truck team, which won the grand prize, the highest award in the competition and Kenya's first since joining the contest in 2019. Again, congratulations. Allow me to congratulate Kevin Tuwei, a lecturer at Tharaka University, together with Catherine Atieno of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Brian Gugi of Mount Kenya University, and Salem Kim of Machakos University. Pongezi. Congratulations. Their achievement in cloud computing, artificial intelligence, big data, and digital infrastructure is a signal that Kenya possesses the talent required to build the cloud infrastructure, data centers, and artificial intelligence capabilities that will power our digital economy. I also congratulate our network track team, which won second prize. Congratulations, Franklin Mutizia, a lecturer at Machakos University, together with Denzel Zinga of Multimedia University, Robert Wambua of Kenyatta University, and Joy Wairimu of Cooperative University of Kenya. Pongezi. Their expertise in networking, cybersecurity, and wireless technologies represents the very skills required to secure our digital infrastructure and build the digital superhighway upon which our economy increasingly depends on. I extend special congratulations to our outstanding all women computing team from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, led by yours truly, Ms. Esther Wairimo, a lecturer, together with Joan Nkatha, Malane Minayo, and Faith Masonic. This exceptional all-women team won second prize and in addition received the prestigious Women in Tech Award. Pongezi. Can they stand for us to see that great team? Tuwapigie makofi. Look at that. Beautiful and sharp. Pongezi. I also recognize PC Kenyan Technical Training College, whose team became the first Kenyan TVET institution ever to qualify for the regional finals of this competition. Again, to my good friend Steve and your team, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, these achievements are not isolated successes. They are evidence that Kenya is steadily becoming one of the world's leading sources of digital talent. That confidence is reflected in the continued investments made by global technology companies in our country. Huawei has become a valued partner in developing digital skills through ICT academies. Again, to Huawei, congratulations. Microsoft has established its Africa Development Center in Nairobi. Amazon Web Services continues expanding its presence, while Apple and many other technology companies are partnering with Kenyan institutions to develop advanced digital capabilities. These partnerships complement the outstanding work being undertaken by our universities, including the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, University of Nairobi, Moi University, Strathmore University, the African Advanced Level Telecommunications Institute, and many other centers of excellence whose graduates are increasingly recognized across the world. As government, we have matched these partnerships with deliberate investment. Through our digital superhighway program, we have deployed an additional 37,000 kilometers of fiber optic, established hundreds of digital hubs, trained more than 1.9 million Kenyans in digital skills, and enabled creation of over 350,000 digital jobs. These are not just figures. These are people. And I'm very proud that in the last 3 years, we've scaled things up around the digital space. And it started with us as government. When I came into office, I said, we are a tech society. And therefore, we must move all our government services into a digital platform. I can proudly say today, 3 years down the road, that we had 350 government services on the digital platform. Today we have 25,000. And shortly, every government service, I think we are approaching 85, almost 90% of government services. Shortly, we will clock 100,000 government services. We also moved government payments. You know, people used to pay government services in cash and in other forms. Today, we have moved all government services to be paid on a digital platform. Again, because we are a tech society. And for us to continuously improve on our human capital, which I have built, that it is the single most important asset that we have as a nation, our human capital. It is the reason why consistently we have invested in education, training, especially all the way to our TVETs and to our universities. If you check, this morning, we have advertised for another 20,000 teachers to add on to the 100,000 that we have already hired. Why? Because education is central to us equipping our human capital with what it takes to make them the best qualified asset that we have as a nation. As I talk to you, in Parliament, we have amendments to the Higher Education Loans Board program, again, that will now make it possible. And I said before, I will repeat again, it will now make it possible for every student placed in our TVETs and in our universities to get full funding for their courses. I have listened to Steve here, I have listened to Atieno and all the young people who are here. It is my commitment that each and every one of you who qualifies to go to a TVET or a university will pursue the course of your choice without the background of your parents influencing which course you do. It is not going to be dependent on whether your parents have the means. It will be dependent on your capacity and your talent, so that every child in Kenya gets an opportunity to be their best, irrespective of their social or economic background. It is the reason why our nation must make some bold steps into the future, confident that we can play in any league and we can compete with any nation. What you have achieved in this Huawei competition confirm to us that we can compete in any place with anybody. And I'm very proud of what you have achieved. We are investing in institutions that will anchor our knowledge economy for generations to come, including the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which I gave charter the other day, the rapidly growing Open University of Kenya, Konsa Technopolis, and internationally recognized innovation hubs that are positioning Kenya as Africa's capital of innovation. At the same time, we are creating the policy environment necessary for innovation to flourish. Our national cloud policy is operational. We are finalizing the National Artificial Intelligence Policy and the National Data Governance Framework. We continue strengthening cybersecurity, data protection, and digital governance so that innovation is matched by trust, and industry to to global markets. Allow me to express my very sincere appreciation to Huawei for the nearly 3 decades of partnership with Kenya. Since launching the Huawei ICT Academy program, the company has worked with 61 institutions, trained more than 15,000 students, certified over 6,000 learners, and equipped more than 400 lecturers with internationally recognized digital skills. Through initiatives such as DigiTrack, and we saw quite an elaborate program around it, and community programs, Huawei continues expanding opportunities for young people, for women, and underserved communities across our country. I also thank the government and the people of the Republic of China, through Her Excellency the Ambassador, for the enduring partnership between our 2 nations in advancing digital transformation, innovation, and human capital development. Finally, I am delighted that Kenya is once again the first country in the world to launch registration for the 11th Huawei ICT competition. I encourage every student in our universities, colleges, and TVETs to participate. The next global champion could very well be sitting in a classroom somewhere in Busia, maybe Lodwar, maybe Wajir, somewhere in Lungalunga, Mombasa, Nairobi, maybe my village in Sugoi. And I am waiting for the outcome of the next competition. And I am very confident that we will surpass where we achieved this year. Congratulations to all of you, good people. You have made us very proud, and we will do our part in making sure that we give each and every one of you an opportunity to be their best. I'm very happy to see Vice Chancellors who are here. I see my good friend from Tharaka, the corner there. I was in his university the other day. I see my good sister, the Vice Chancellor of Jomo Kenyatta, and all the other good people who are here. And I have sat down with these Vice Chancellors and leadership of our universities on that table right there. You remember? Yes, we sat there on that table with them. When I came into office, we had a real challenge. Many of our universities faced very dire situations. Many of our universities could not pay even lecturers. They could not pay their suppliers. They had difficulties. And that is why we had to rework the funding model for our universities. We've made very good progress with our new student-centered funding model. And I want to tell our Vice Chancellors we will be engaging them as we now progress to even a better funding model that will make sure that every student has full funding for their education. That is the commitment I have made. I know many people are asking me, where are you going to find the money to fund these universities? And I want to tell them what was said before. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance, and you will know which one is more expensive. So my commitment is that it is the single most important thing that we must do, because for us to move this country to a first world status, knowledge, education is central to that journey. It is what other economies have done. to be able to make the move they have. It is what Kenya must do. And therefore, we have no option but to fund our knowledge, to get the best human capital. I have said no nation can develop beyond its capacity to think. If you cannot imagine the future, you cannot get there. If you cannot think about the future, you possibly may not even step in that direction. So I am very confident about the future of our nation, and I'm very confident about the young people who will make sure that that future becomes our reality. So congratulations, my good friends, to all the winners and the champions. Congratulations, Huawei and our friends. And I look forward to working with you. It's now my pleasure to launch the 11th edition of the Huawei ICT competition. And I look forward to many more students and many more universities participating as we go into the future. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Wonderful round of applause to His Excellency. And Your Excellency, with your permission, will now progress to the awarding of some of these categories that were there. So allow me to ask the following to flank His Excellency for this session: the CS and PS to the right of His Excellency.